In this video, we're going to go ahead and take a look at modifying the post that I created here in the last video lesson by adding media to it. And so I'm going to be actually adding a photo and a PDF document to it to show you how those are going to work. And so what I'll need to do is go to posts, and I can click on either posts or I can choose all posts, and I can see all of the posts that I have here to work with. So for me to go back in and modify an existing one rather than creating a new one, all I need to do is find the one that I want to work with and choose edit. And so I'll go ahead and click on edit, and it's going to give me the option here to start making changes to it. Now you can see this is just basically kind of where we left off on the last lesson, where I was adding a whole bunch of text to it. So what I want to do now is I want to add an image to this, and so I'm going to click on just before the T here in the, and that's where my blinking cursor is going to be, and I'm going to choose this icon up here to add media. So I'll click on that, and it's going to give me the option, basically a couple different tabs. I can go ahead and add it from my computer, from a URL. Now this one has a gallery already in there because I've done this before. Yours may not have that, but it may just say media library, and I'll just show you what happens when we click on the media library. So from computer, I can select the files, and these are the different file formats that I have options for uploading. From a URL, if I were to click on that, I can go ahead and type in a URL or an address to a picture on the web, and then have that link to that one particular photo and put that in my website itself. I also have the option here for this media library, and in the media library what we've got here to work with is anything we may have uploaded. Now if you've been following along the series, I've already uploaded two different things, a PDF file, which is this manual, and then also an image, which is going to be this bike pic, and that's the one I want to insert right now. So I'm going to go ahead and choose show, and I get to see all the details about this particular picture, like the size, 2000 by 2000, which is a kind of a large photo for me to be working with. But I have the option here of changing the title of my picture, and this is going to be some of that metadata information that's going to be in the background for this particular photo. I can also add some alternate text, which I've already typed in here for you, and you can see it's the Scott scale 29. That's going to make it so that when people hover their mouse over the picture, some of the browsers will show a little piece of text over that, and you can see that there. Also for screen readers, for those that are visually impaired, they have the option of being able to read what that picture says. And I can add additional information with a caption, also a description. And you can see the link URL is going to link it to the full-size photo itself. So it's going to actually, if you click on it, the whole picture will show up the full size. Now I'm going to go ahead and show a smaller size by having the medium selected, 300 by 300. Keep in mind your post width on your particular WordPress website may not be very large, and 300 by 300 is going to take up quite a bit on mine. Probably not everything. My default theme may be right around 500 pixels max for the width of the post area. So keep in mind when you're working with these, you may also want to use a custom or change these sizes here on the settings, over here on the settings, to make it so that they are the size that is the maximum for your post, depending on your theme post area. I'm going to choose to insert it into my post, so I'll go ahead and click on that. And you can see now that it's edited into my post, or inserted into my post. If I were to click on the photo, I have the option of going back and making editing changes to it. If I wanted to go to the HTML side, you can see that here's my HTML tag. I'll see that's a hyperlink tag, the hyperlink reference. And you can see there it is, image tag. And you can see all the information about the image itself, the source, and so forth, for those people who like to write code and work with code. Now you can always go back in here and modify it. You can see the width right there for the image is 300 and the height is 300. So I can manually modify it here in the code to make it the size that I wanted and kind of toy around with it till it's the maximum size that I want for my article. But I'm going to go back here to visual, and let's go ahead and make some editing changes to it. You can see the text did not align. We chose no alignment by default, and I might not like that. I may want the text to actually wrap up and around. So what I'll need to do is I'm going to have to go back and edit it. So click on the photo until you see this option and choose edit image. And now we can go back in and make some changes to it, like the size. I can go ahead and change the size manually. Here I've got that option. Or I've got alignment. I've got none, left, center, and right. If I choose left alignment, it means the photo will be aligned to the left of the text. And rather than keeping it all in the same line, it's going to go ahead and move this text up. And you can see that now that it's gone ahead and generated that for you, it'll show you what that'll do with the text. Now it may or may not look good, just depends on how much text you have and how large your photo is. But I'm going to go ahead and choose update. And you can see now that I've gone ahead and done this. Now by adding this photo in here, it made my editing area a little larger, and so if I scroll down a little bit, I can see there's the publish area. In fact, if you click on it, it'll collapse it. If I click on it again, it will expand it back up. So if you're looking around and you don't have that large of a resolution, working with on your particular WordPress dashboard. Keep that in mind while you're working with it. If I hit update, it's going to give me the option to see what my website looks like now with this new updated post. And so I'm going to wait until it's done here, and you can see that it's been updating. And now that it has updated, I'm going to come back to my site and I'm actually going to refresh it. And let's see, there's my image, and you can see the image. Now this did not work very good. You can kind of see here the formatting. I've got some errors here, and I'm liking this because I'm showing you how to. I'm going to show you how to start working through some of this stuff here. My image. Whoops, I clicked on it. Let me go back. My image. Of course, I've got a lot of white space on my image, and this is why it's going to be important to kind of trim your images before you upload them. You may want to go in and start doing some editing so that all of my extra white space, because you can see the image actually starts where my mouse is right now, and it's all white space coming down here. It may be a good idea to get rid of all that extra white space while I'm working on it. That's going to help me out a lot. That actually would move that image up. And same thing down below. You may want to get rid of extra white space when it comes to your image and have it cropped to the size that you want. So that's one problem. You can also see that my bullets are listed here, but the text is over here. And the reason for that is because of that alignment that I'm working with. So I may want to add some extra space at the end of my paragraph, kind of space down some spaces and have the bullets fall underneath this image itself if that's where I want that image. So let's go back to the post itself. And so what I'm going to do is click back on the photo, and I can see that I've got some options here if I click on it that I can actually do some advanced editing. I can actually change the width and height here if I were to click on advanced editing. I've got the original size if I wanted to put that in there. I've got some CSS information I can add to this as well, some styles. I can put a border on this particular picture. The vertical space means up and down, the top and the bottom of my photo. I can add extra white space, either vertically or horizontally. If I were to type in a number here like at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so forth, that's how many pixels wide it's going to make it, so you want to play around with that. I can also go ahead and have some advanced linking settings. Now this isn't what I want to work with, and none of these options are going to actually allow me to get rid of that white space that I have here to work with. So what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and close this, and actually I'm going to need to delete that photo out of there. And so if I click here on the delete image, it's removed it. Now I want to show you why I'm going to delete it. If I go back in to insert the image, I'm going to have the option, if I go back here to Media Library, and I can find that bike picture and choose Show, I have the option of editing my image here. I'm going to go ahead and click Edit Image. And you can see here when you edit the image, you can actually do some cropping, and they give you some basic photo editing tools of flipping horizontally, rotating it, all those different options that I've got here to work with. I've also got the crop. It says Image Crop, and I can go ahead and crop this. And so what I can do here is kind of just draw a box, see, around this, and maybe make it more something like this itself. Now that I have the image selected, what I want to go ahead and do is I'm going to crop it. And so this is the selection that I want, and I'm going to go ahead and choose crop, and you'll see that it cropped my image now, and I can choose to go ahead and save it. Now that the image has been saved, I can come back down here so you can see that it's modified my photo and now insert it into my post as a medium size, and you can see a lot of that white space has been taken away. So if I wanted to go back in now, choose Edit. Let's go back in and edit this so that it aligns to the text by being on the left-hand side, and choose Update. It's going to look a lot better. I still have that bullet there that doesn't going to look right. So what I'll do is after it says a value in a big wheeled bike, I'm just going to actually hit Enter and space that down. There we go. And now let's go ahead and update this. I'm going to choose Update. And when this is done updating, I'm going to go ahead and refresh my page itself to see how that actually looks visually on my page. And so now let's go back, and you can also see, there we go. Now that it's done updating, I can refresh my site, and that looks a lot better. And I formatted that picture just a little bit to make it fit in better. So it will be playing around a lot with a photo and trying to make it look good and wrap with your text correctly as well, of how it actually makes it, basically for your appearance, to make it look a little bit more professional. Now I want to go back because I want to also insert a PDF and just show you how to insert a PDF. I'm going to come down to the end of my table. And a lot of times what you'll do if you insert a table in there, you can find that you can't click on any text any further down here. And there are a couple ways of doing this. I usually will go to the HTML tag and scroll down here to the bottom, and you can see that it ends with the table tag. And so if I wanted to just hit Enter here and just put in there some stuff, PDF, if I actually write some text in here and then go back to visual, you'll see that that text will now appear. And so that gives me a spot that's clickable for me to work with. And there are a couple ways of doing that after you insert a table, but I'm going to show you that way. It's an easy, quick, easy way. So now that that text is there, I can delete it and start writing some stuff here. And so I'm going to go ahead and just put download PDF manual here. And if I wanted to highlight the word here, I could go ahead and make something like that, the link itself, and if I knew the URL, basically the web address to that file that I wanted to work with, I could click on something like link and then make that a hyperlink by typing in the URL itself. I don't want to do that. What I want to do in this case is actually space back. I'll go ahead and put a colon there, space, and now we're going to insert that PDF document here. So I'm going to go back here to upload insert, and I'm going to choose that media for my media library, and I have already uploaded that PDF manual. So I'm going to go ahead and choose show, and here are my options basically to insert it into the post. I can do a title, I can do a lot of different things here to work with. I'm going to choose to insert into the post so you guys can see what happens here. And you can see now it's just manual. That was the title that I had there. If I wanted to make some changes to this, I could definitely make changes to it. You'll notice if I try to overwrite that name, then it went ahead and took away that link. So what I want to do is go back to the insert media, and before I actually, let's go back to media library, and I can choose manual, and let's go ahead now and change this to the owner's manual. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and save all changes. And let's go ahead and also, oops, I forgot to insert it into post. And now you can see that the title that I had here, it says owner's manual, and that will be a hyperlink that will take me to that owner's manual. That's a PDF. So if I update my page, update, and now that the page is updated, I can go back to my site, refresh my page, and you'll see that I have the photo there. I've got this information here, and if I scroll down a little further, you can see I've got the owner's manual. If I hover over it, it's going to take me to that PDF file, and I can click on that and work with the PDF. Now I did notice, it looks like I still have a problem here with my actual text not being pushed down far enough on my picture. So what I might want to do, if I go back here, you can see that I did hit enter and it looks okay there. I may not have hit enter enough, or if I wanted to, I could force it by going to the HTML tag, and at the end here you can see this is the symbol for a space. I could insert extra break tags as an option, and a break tag is going to be that line break, and I can put in several different line breaks as maybe another alternative to spacing that down further. So I'm going to choose update, and then refresh my page, and let's see how that works as far as pushing down that content just a little bit more. There we go. So that looks a lot better now on my site. You can see that it says it's been pushed down a little bit further by inserting those break tags, and also I hit enter as well. That may have pushed it down enough too as well. So these are the options that I have here for inserting media into my web page post.